Okay. Schiller is going to join me soon. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying some of the Infinite Monkey Theorem Malbec. Local stuff. Good stuff. Good for the kids out there. For your health.
Health check passed, ready to fuck. Yeah. So that's the time that I liked At the Gates that one time.
Oh, yeah, and then now you hate them, of course.
Yeah, fuck At the Gates. Fuck.
What? What happened?
You know what's happened? Anders Björler has rejoined At the Gates. One of the original main songwriters, definitely sort of, he and his brother are like the heart and soul of the Slaughter of the Soul writing team. He's back, baby. The brothers are back.
Now, I don't know if any of this made it into a past episode, but there was a past talk we had where I was literally bitching about the fact that, like, how can the brother leave the band? That's like when the Cavalieras split up. That just shouldn't be. And so, yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm just super happy the brothers are working together again with our boy Tomas, who like yourself, nobody talks about it, but like yourself, he's a teacher. And I loved when I heard that. Yeah. I was very excited to hear that he is also a teacher like my friend Schiller, and that they're both, and he says that his students also have very little interest in his band, which I found hilarious.
Hey, Liquid Death and Waterloo. In the event that we end up losing our livelihoods because of our dedication to this thing, if you guys want to throw us some free shit, maybe even some money, we'll take that. We'll take some payola. We're all about that shit.
Yeah, listen here. I have, not to be a shill here, but honestly, I have gotten heavily into this because I've discovered what the key is to why Liquid Death is special. Is they carbonate it like it's beer. And you can drink one of these, and it's really the satisfaction, like about 45% satisfaction of a beer.
Is there a difference in the way beer is carbonated versus other things?
Yes. Well, different beers. Well, with my limited knowledge of brewing, I would say this is carbonated very similar to Japanese beer. And
interesting.
And it seems to have a different kind of tang to it. But, that could just be the awesomeness of the can, giving me a Pavlovian response here. I don't know.
I like that. I like the possibility that it's only the label. Like, I want that potential for us to be able to just create whatever we want out of it based on what we see.
Well, because the label is so fucking appealing to metalheads. It's like I do feel like I'm chugging a beer when I drink these, and I think that's a very specific satisfaction that they're hitting there with that carbonation.
Back in the heyday Wild West of the internet, do you remember a website called Save Toby? It was this guy who came up with a website, and he had this pet rabbit named Toby.
Oh no!
And he said, if you don't donate a certain amount of money to me, I'm gonna kill and eat Toby.
And how did it go?
And so, well, he sets up this donation thing, and then he starts posting all of these pictures of like recipes for cooking rabbits, and he'll have and it would be like a pot, right, with like celery and all kinds of other stuff, and then fucking Toby sitting in the pot with all
happily
with like the vegetables and everything, and you think to yourself, we gotta save Toby. Like, I'll give this guy $20. This is fucking genius. And I honestly don't know. I don't know if he made his quota. I don't know if Toby bit the fucking bucket. I don't know if the whole thing was a joke, but I do remember thinking to myself, that is marketing. That is how you go for the throat. And so when Liquid Death came around, I got major Save Toby vibes. You can get this out of the tap in your home.
Way to bring it down, Schiller.
Murder your thirst.
It's from the Alps. You didn't read it. It's from the Alps.
Oh shit, you're right. It's from the Alps. That's what makes all the difference.
The Alps of Television City.
Yeah,
who knows where
these are from the
Alps.
These are from the
Camden.
Yeah, the Arkansas Alps. Don't you know about the Arkansas Alps? We found it's where it's right down the road from where they bottle the Ozarka water. Which is right down the road from where that fucking body from Cabin Fever is still floating in a pond. So drink up. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease.
See, again, death metal teaches you all sorts of pronunciations and weird diseases and stuff. Now, the fact that that both of us know that it's Jakob. That's how you pronounce it because we listen to county medical exam. Look at the man hitting his archives. Now, see, you can't see that he's flexing his buttocks right now, but he is. Just trust that he is.
You ever heard rectal fog?
Hold on now. Let me just... that was...
Pissrot.
No, thank you.
No, you're going to take the Pissrot. You're going to take Pissrot, and it's called Piss Vile Gunk, all right? A buddy of mine. So a buddy of mine who works at a record store recently went through the used section and found some stuff that I wanted, and they were he's cool enough to send it to me, like a couple of old Cardiac Arrest CDs, which are fucking incredible. Couple of.
I think I may have mastered that one that you held up there. I think.
Jesus.
I might be wrong.
Mastered by Patrick E. Bruss.
And the E stands for? Do you know?
I don't know. No.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. Continue.
Okay, fine. I'll find out. Now I'm going to find out. So, yeah, Cardiac Arrest, some old, like, God Dethroned albums that I had at one point, but didn't have anymore. And so he...
Great stuff there.
And he also threw in this little split, right? And on one side, it is Pissrot's Piss Vile Gunk, which I had heard before and which I liked. And I remember that these are like super young dudes like Wretched Inferno. Really impressed me.
Okay.
On the back side of this split, there is this band. And the logo appears to me to say Rectal Fog. And I thought to myself,
yeah,
we're going places with this. There was some record, and I can't remember if it was the band's name or if it was the name of a release, but recently I remember seeing a release or a band called Gastric Phantasm and thinking to myself, oh wow, that is a really interesting and creative combination of things. Like, I like the idea of like a certain part of the body being haunted. I don't know why.
I'm with you.
But the idea of like one haunting contained within a system, like within a body system, or I don't know, something about that's interesting to me.
I'll tell you why.
Yes.
Because it's Larry Wang-esque.
It's fucking Larry Wang-esque, man. Rectal Fog.
It's
very well
way up his alley.
A Larry Wang thing, right? It's confusing, right?
Absolutely.
It's like contradictory imagery. Why is there fog in the rectum? We don't know, right?
I've got plenty of fog in my rectum, let me tell you.
Cartoon fart type thing, you know what I mean? But like, we got to bring it back down. We got to dial it back. We got to come back to reality, because unfortunately the band is not called Rectal Fog. They are called Ritual Fog.
Ritual.
And they're real fucking good.
My fucking logo reading skills were on point. Immediately when you show that to me, I saw Ritual Fog.
Man,
But this is oldie over here.
I think I wanted it to be rectal.
We all do.
I too recognized this at first, and my brain said, no, we can do better. And so that's I extended my bullshit onto it, and it's good, man. Like Ritual Fog.
I've never heard of Ritual Fog. Yeah, what's their style? Like, what's their
gate creepery?
It looks black metal-y almost.
It's not black metal-y. No.
Really?
No.
Wow,
and that's what I thought at first too, and I almost passed over it because of that.
You and I both, brother.
Yeah, I'm not like the biggest. I'm not the biggest fan.
We both poo-poo on the black metal, which I find hilarious, because we both, I feel, have had our times.
Oh yeah,
I was heavily into it. Yeah,
I did when I was younger.
We both had our time and moved on.
And what I consider to be black metal apparently no longer is, and like I'm fine with that. Like I just
interesting.
If the time comes when I want to listen to black metal again, I will. Like, I don't have some sort of grudge against it. I don't hate black metal. It just does not fascinate me the way death metal does right now, and I am a slave to my fascination.
I just find it amazing that we're both synced in this way, because I'm exactly the same way. Like it's just not talking to me right now, but I have a feeling when we both flip back into black metal, this whole show is gonna change. We're
Megatrends.
We're all of a sudden going to be just talking about black metal, but it's not happening yet, folks.
We'll keep going with this one until the wheels fall off, and when the black metal turn comes, I don't know how I'm going to handle it, but by God, we're going to go together towards terror, me and you. We're going to fucking walk through this thing together, arm in arm.
Yes, we'll hold hands. We'll hold hands. But what is a Ritual Fog? So I mean, that's like a fucking. Is that?
It's not even a slipcase. It is
right?
a folded in half piece of cardboard inside of a plastic sleeve with a CD inside of it. So yeah, I mean, like they make the best of it. But like, hey, this is two fucking sick bands, and I got this for free. So thank you very much, Zia Records. Pissrot on one side, Ritual Fog on the other. The release for Ritual Fog is called Visions of Blasphemy. If you're into like Gatecreeper, Skull Crush, you'll definitely be into these guys. It's good stuff, man. Filthy, HM2 feeling, chainsaw feeling type stuff.
Oh, that's yeah, fuck yeah,
man.
Let me get this out.
Speaking of getting things out, let me get out my copy of the new GOATWHORE record.
Yes, it is out. I can see it. You've just pulled it out of your pants, and I can see it.
It is. I've touched. I've had this in close proximity to my body because it means a lot to me. No, seriously, listen. If you like GOATWHORE, obviously you're gonna like this record. If you don't like GOATWHORE, I suggest that you check out the record, right? Because there's a lot of stuff about GOATWHORE's formula that they're, GOATWHORE's got a sound. They know what they're fucking doing. For the most part, they're sticking to it on this record, but there are some different things on this record that stand out a little bit more.
Okay.
I do feel so. One of the things that you don't often see in GOATWHORE is like repeating parts, like choruses. A lot of the times, it's like the song structure is not insanely complicated or anything. Like it's got like a punk feel to it in a lot of places, like a black metal feel to it in a lot of places. It's not overly complex, but at the same time, they are doing interesting stuff, and like they're not relying on some of the repeating parts that simpler, more straightforward song arrangement tends to rely on, like choruses and pre-choruses, right? There's a couple of places on this record where there are repeating parts, right? There's like, especially the song Death from Above, I feel like is the catchiest song GOATWHORE's ever written. It's on their newest record.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
Agreed. Yeah, I really like.
Their
I really
whole
am.
thing is catchy.
Exactly. I really am impressed by it, man. So if you and I love GOATWHORE, and I've loved GOATWHORE for a long time. But if you don't like GOATWHORE, I am going to say, like, give this one a shot. Give it a chance. There is some different stuff going on here. I do think that you might dig it. Patrick, I don't know if you're going to dig it or not, brother. But if you're out there, if you're listening to the show and you're fucking on the fence about a new GOATWHORE record, go out, get off the fence, mend your crotch, and buy this bad boy, pop it in, and let it get you.
I love the Schuler promos. That's my favorite.
I don't know, and the thing is, I never know when it's going to happen. Sometimes it just comes out of me when my body's not ready for
that's
it.
That's why it's good. You should never fake a promo. Just let it happen. But so this new one, I'm going to listen, as you're saying, like I'm going to give it a chance the same way I did that Soulfly. So believe me, I will give it a chance. Okay.
Maybe you'll get into it. Maybe
I'm not the kind of person who's looking to hate things. I want to like things.
And I want you to like it too. Give it a shot. Now, there's one thing, and I don't know how you feel about this band, and they probably don't really have much of a place on this show, but it came in the mail today, and so I gotta talk about it because I feel like we have to continue to let people know about this, right? The new Lamb of God album. I've listened to it one time. I think it's pretty good. I've definitely seen some raving about it that I'm not quite picking up on. I've listened to it one time, so maybe I just need to listen to it a few more times.
I've heard conflicting things, yeah.
But the reason that I bring it up is because, listen, grown-ups out there, if you're ordering a CD, if you're pre-ordering merch of some kind, right? Always check the Japanese track list before you pre-order. Check the Japanese track list before you buy a CD or a record or anything like that.
Because there's always extra goodies, right?
It's probably going to have some extra shit on it. And if they're a major label band, it's almost guaranteed in a lot of cases. So I always listen to the Japanese bonus tracks. Like, that's one of the first things that I listen to. I did that with that fucking Halo Effect album. I did that with the last Arcane record, and I did that with the Lamb of God record today. And it sounds a lot like their old shit, man. The bonus track is called Evidence. It very well could have been on Ashes the Wake. I don't know how much you've ever fucked with Lamb of God.
It's a new song?
Yeah, it's a new song.
Most of the time on these Japanese releases, it's like they'll do like a modern cover of an older one, or they'll do a live track. I hate when they do a live track. I like when they reinvent, and yeah, I hate it too, because you're just throwing shit out.
I'll take a live album.
My favorite is on that At the Gates, To Drink from the Night Itself.
Yeah.
Where the Japanese edition had that new version of Raped by the Light of Christ was so fucking
it's excellent.
Gorgeous.
It's like, dude, when I heard that, I was like, they need to re-record. And I know a bunch of people will be like, fuck you, how dare you? But I stand by this and I mean every word of what I'm about to say. If you've heard that version of that song, you, like me, should want them to re-record that entire record with those exact same production.
I agree. Yes. Not that
dude.
Yes. Not that one sounds shitty, but to do it again would add they could add so much to it. So they could add so much nuance to it.
Exactly. To hear all that fucking weirdness that's already there, just like in full fidelity, like with all the other shit that they could do with it now, like I would want to hear that. You know what I mean?
Yes. So I guess what they did on this Lamb of God was something that they recorded for the album. They just didn't feel it was worthy of the album or something?
And that happens. So my experience with Japanese bonus tracks is that most of the time they do come from it's either songs from that session or songs from a previous session that didn't make it onto something. So like Cannibal Corpse's Evisceration Plague has the European version of that has a bonus track, one of the only unused Cannibal Corpse B-sides that I'm aware of that came from the Wretched Spawn sessions. So they pulled that out of the back catalog and tacked that onto the end. I'm pretty sure that Lamb of God, as far as I know, like their stores are pretty much empty of B-sides and bonus material at this point. And given the sort of the production value and how similar it sounds to the rest of the stuff on the record, my thought is that this is probably a song that, and especially with bands that are bigger like that, sometimes there's an expectation for them to have some extra stuff that they record that doesn't make it to a like Black Dahlia Murder, you know what I mean? Like all the last several Black Dahlia Murder records have had like one or two B-sides for other territories, and so I think that shit's cool, man. I feel like it sweetens the pot, and like as a fan who I don't feel exploited by this shit. Like to me, it's almost like a puzzle, like a scavenger hunt or something. Like I don't feel like I'm
a bonus level in a video game. You get that extra song.
I'm happy to throw a little extra money at this to get an extra song or whatever, and I'll just come right out and say I order my Japanese CDs from a company called CD Japan. If you want new releases,
I gotta write this down.
If you want new Japanese releases that have bonus tracks, CD Japan is the place to go. There is also a seller on Discogs called Kupiku. That's Kupiku. And they always have sick prices. I think shipping was like $17 or something. Something FedExed from Japan, I'll pay $17 for. Like I'm fine with that.
Well, that's still less than it has been lately from Indonesia and Taiwan. It's been $20+, so and certain, and then of course, whatever's going on in the Eastern Bloc, there are certain areas there. It's just like, no. Will it get here without bullet holes in it? So I'm just, this is the thing. Like if the shipping is $15, you just have to buy enough crap to justify the shipping.
Exactly.
You just have to get that ratio. I'm sure you understand.
I do. I usually end up getting something rewarding out of that. Like when I'm,
exactly.
Especially with like so a lot of the Indonesian stuff, when I end up sort of padding out an order in order to justify the shipping, like sometimes I really get a gem with that, like that Brain Ass record. That Brain Ass record I only got because I needed something else to fill my order, and because the title was so absurd, I was like, I can't not order this. Brain Ass is the truth.
Yeah, you'd never order it based on the cover art or the name, but when you hear it, you're like, wow, I'm really glad I got this Brain Ass, because now my Brain Ass is smarter than it's ever been.
This Brain Ass is my shit.
This Brain Ass enjoys that Brain Ass. I have a brain in my ass. I don't know if you know that.
You're unique, baby. You're a special flower. Nobody can fucking touch you.
This is why I love you, Schiller.
So I have one more, and I thought to myself when I got this, I have one more new release is what I mean. And I thought to myself when I got this, like, this is oddly specific. What a strange title. I wonder what this means. The name of the band is Sermon of Mockery, and I like that. There's a Whitechapel song called Sermon of Mockery. I think the guys themselves, the musicians, have been around in other projects, but this is listed as the first Sermon of Mockery release. Just came out on Comatose.
I saw this around, but I haven't checked it out yet. It's like super brutal, right? Is this Indonesia?
It's super brutal. I don't think that it is Indonesia.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I've just seen that cover art a lot. And what style are we talking there?
This is brutal death metal. There is some more complicated stuff. it's an EP. You know, it's only like 4 songs. So the name of the EP, and this sort of displays my ignorance or the fact that I've lived under a rock or something. The name of the EP, the title of the EP is Crippler Crossface Murder Suicide. And I thought to myself, that's a very strange combination of words. Like, did somebody just come up with that? So you don't know what that means either?
I think I got it.
Oh, do you?
It's a wrestling
reference. It's a wrestling reference, indeed. And it's not just a wrestling reference.
Which makes me like this band immediately.
Well, you know who the reference is, too.
No.
Chris Benoit.
Oh, good God! Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, there's no death metal-ier wrestler. Even The Undertaker did not. So yeah, pretty brutal.
Like, I was even unaware of sort of the ins and outs of this situation. Like, I remember...
Oh, of the Benoit situation?
Yeah. Like, I remember that the guy died.
It's horrible.
I know.
Oh my God, it's awful.
And I guess, you know, like, I was really and I am still really disconnected from that world. And like, for some reason, whenever I heard about it, I just sort of processed it as like, oh man, that's bad. A guy killed himself or whatever. You know, like just the way that you feel. Seeing all the details, I was like, holy shit, this is.
So hold on, if I may. So is that cover art supposed to be depicting the actual crime scene? Because that looks like basically what happened.
We've got.
Wow.
On the back, I see what appears to be a child's body on a bed, also covered in a bagged head. And then in the back to the cover, in the back corner here, we've got a man hanging from what appears to be exercise equipment.
Bro, let me tell you, these folks who put out this CD did some research, because this is some absolute sick detail. I had no idea that's what that was about.
Artwork by John Zig.
Zig, you sick son of a bitch.
Oh, Zig.
How dare you.
The things that we do.
Which, by the way, I know that Zig is a huge wrestling fan.
Goodness gracious.
You sick son of a bitch.
Yeah, this is pretty...
Wow, well, this has just opened up a whole new level of sickness that we know what this is about.
This is pretty vile. This is some pretty repugnant shit right here. The music? Solid.
Hey, folks, we're good people.
Yeah, we're not, you know.
We just like.
Can you know? We swim around in this fucking muck for you, right? Like we do that. We plunge our hands into the filth so that you can keep yours clean. All right. And I am here to report on the fact that you should, if you de-identify, you don't have to choose to support them financially. You know, do whatever it is that you want to go about doing, and avoid or support this release at your own discretion.
I actually like fictitious gore and fictitious horror, as most of us do, but some of us like the real crime, like your wife and my mom and many ladies that I know, and yourself. Yes, and yourself. See, you like it more than I do.
So I like the fantasy stuff. Like, I enjoy it. The real life stuff fascinates me, and music as a vehicle for that fascination. I still can't put words on why it connects with me the way that it does. The ability for that music to take on different to almost like put on different masks, right? From one situation, from one band to the next. Like, that's a really interesting way to engage with it for me, and to continue to grow with it. You know what I mean?
Is that your pile?
That was my pile.
Allow me a speed round.
Please do.
Got this Illucinus, which is a fucking amazing technical...
Spell it.
Illucinus.
All right, I'll guess. I'll just put in different combinations of letters until something comes up.
Illucinus with 2 L's. That's the only thing you need to know is 2 L's.
Sick.
There's that. Illucinus is not that hard to find. I'm surprised you haven't stumbled across this. I posted a lot about it. Okay. It's Illucinus. The name of the album is The Machine. And it's very tasteful, not unlike Sublation. Those guys are great. And then Massacred, The Human Extermination, which this is a band that I love from the UK, which is Massacred.
I think you mentioned this.
Massacred is, I talk about them a lot on Twitter, because Massacred is absolute fucking mortician worship to the highest level, and they're one of the best Mortician. Like, I mean, just really taking the Mortician aesthetic and improving upon it and adding to it. And this is mostly he releases a ton of little short EPs on Bandcamp, but this is one of his first actual full albums, and it's really great, and it's got great artwork and everything, just as good as a Mortician album. So get Diet Pepsi when you can't get normal Pepsi. Then of course the Phobophilic that we talked about. Yeah, so that's it's been yes, everyone agrees this is a great modern classic because the Phobophilic is continuing the Dymalic style. Not as hard as that album you recommended me last time. That
Sororicide?
Yeah, which that's what's hilarious to me is that I listened to that Sororicide and I was like, it's all right. But the fact that it's so expensive and rare really makes you, I just like, now I got to download it now.
It's not the most amazing record that you've ever heard, but like, it's interesting.
Well, a piece of art that is rare for someone who, for us collectors like us who love this art, that means something. Even though it's just a bunch of doofs in a practice space recording some riffs badly over some vintage equipment, it has its charm. And then lastly, nothing new, but of course because I worship Tribal Gaze, I already had their new one. I had to get their old one. Just because now that they're big time, I got to get their old one before it disappears. So that's all I have. Yeah. So Nev has asked us this question, and we've constantly been dodging it and trying not to answer.
What's your favorite album cover? We've been putting him off for so long. I feel like we owed him this, right?
Yes, and Nev has been a huge supporter of Crypticus and our show.
And we are huge supporters of him.
Yes. I think I got to go with the first gut feeling. And for me, again, it was that somewhat obscure first album from CEMETARY from Sweden, which is an Evil Shade of Grey, which is an early Necrolord piece of art. And is also one of the most evocatively Swedish death metal album artworks ever, and it perfectly encapsulates the feeling of that album, which is very obscure and dark and moody, and one of the most Finnish sounding Swedish death metal albums, and that artwork is very powerful to me.
I can see that.
And I've actually, since Nev has asked us this question, I've revisited this many times, and I think I've just realized that Necrolord overall is my favorite cover artist ever. Because I mean, come on, In the Nightside Eclipse that's one of the first things that made an Iron Maiden Maiden albums to shame. Like, that is just a fucking.
I remember, dude. I remember in high school, like looking at it and just being like, "What the fuck? All this going on in the background here?"
You can stare at it forever and just see further and further and further, and little details and things in the clouds. And he's taking things from Doré paintings and putting them in the clouds, and it's just he's amazing. So Necro, and
I feel like I've been remiss with Necrolord.
So that's my answer. I bid everyone, please check out CEMETARY's Evil Shade of Grey. I think that's
oh brother, I own it.
See, you probably own the real version. I had to get like a weird Russian bootleg version, but at least I own it.
Is it like Soyuz? S-O-Y-U-Z, I think is what it is. Yeah. All right, Nev. Hope you're happy. No, we've been putting him off for so long. I feel like we owed him this, right?
So, Nev, I'm sorry. Question 2.
All right. Question 2. Carl Furious, our homie Carl Furious says, will there ever be another Necrophagist album? Carl, no. Next question.
Schiller knows. Trust me.
I mean, is I just don't feel like there's any reason to expect one, and I feel like if we stop thinking about it, I feel like if we just don't think about it and then we get it, it'll be a truly fucking amazing thing.
Yeah, I know you gotta go. It's time to go. I'm cutting you off. You gotta go right now. So I'm stopped.